to quickly touch on a few things. So first, let's go to this situation right here. Here we go. So Oprah Winfrey has been subpoenaed by Russell Simmons' accuser, Drew Dixon. Dixon is suing Simmons for defamation and wants Winfrey to hand over documents and evidence related to the case. Y'all know she did a documentary that never came out. Dixon accused Simmons of R. In a New York Times article in 2017, she alleged he assaulted her in her apartment in 1995. Simmons questioned her claims during an interview with Graham Basinger in 2023 and asked, could someone want notoriety in the market where people thirst for fame? I get what you're saying, but in male-dominated fields, nobody wants to be the woman that was known for pointing the finger at a beloved man. That doesn't have the same effect that you believe it does. You don't accuse people of R for clout, especially not back then, and especially not this black man. Like, this was not good for Drew Dixon. Like, this didn't work out in her benefit, motherfucker. Okay, you went on to Bali and you know, turned your life into a resort. Here's where Oprah comes in. Simmons also said in the interview that Oprah dropped out of producing On the Record, a documentary about the assault claims against Simmons after she found inconsistencies in the women's stories. Simmons alleged that Winfrey had recordings of conversations that would prove these inconsistencies. Oprah later told the New York Times that she still believed the women and that the newspaper added that she also thought there were inconsistencies in her account that the film had not adequately addressed. The filmmakers also said they have voluminous research files corroborating all of the women's accounts. Dixon's attorney have now subpoenaed Winfrey in the defamation lawsuit with the notice that reads, according to page 6, you are hereby commanded to produce the books, records, papers, data, documents, evidences, writings, and all other tangible things as described more fully in the attached Schedule A at Bosie Schiller Flexer LLP before March 18, 2025. It continues, you are further commanded to appear and attend before a notary public on often person authorized by law to administer oaths and at any recessed or adjourned date to testify and give evidence. So basically, we want whatever the evidence that she had from the documentary. Now, here's my thing. Y'all tore Oprah Winfrey's ass up when she did the documentary on Michael Jackson. I feel like it's not that the women were lying or their stories were inconsistent. It was probably that you didn't want to deal with the fallout, because when Oprah did the Michael Jackson thing, it was a shit show. They took the shit off of HBO at some point, I believe. The men are still in some type of litigation, but I definitely feel like it was more so of, child, let me just protect myself and my peace, instead of putting out another documentary about another beloved black man, because we know how these hoes act behind these men. We know how the niggas and the hoes act behind these men. They never met them before in their life, but will defend the creepiest of creepy old men simply because you liked his song or you saw him post a quote some fucking way that you agreed with. Okay. Russell Simmons, like that heavy tongue, y'all, I'm really starting to feel like certain unattractive attributes, not all the time, but certain unattractive physical attributes say a lot about an individual. Something about that heavy tongue of his. Stay away from me. We'll see how this all plays out. But y'all know Drew Dixon and them been trying to get justice on Russell Simmons for a long time. And because he escaped to Bali, you know, justice has escaped, if you will. All right, so that's that. I wanted to update y'all on that situation because we did talk about Russell Simmons' weird ass. I met Russell Simmons about 15 years ago and he made me very uncomfortable. He also stared at me like he was waiting for me to recognize him. I did, but I didn't bite. I wasn't impressed. Girl, that reminds me of something that happened recently to me, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna bring it up, okay? But a lot of those celebrity men who are used to people looking at them, they really do want people to look at them. And if you somebody that don't know them or that's not paying them no mind, they want your attention. And as soon as they get your attention, they can then, you know, do whatever it is, child, that they was gonna do in the first place. But they want your attention.